Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome all viewers. Today I want to talk about something very important, and I think it's also maybe controversial. It might rub people the wrong way. So I ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide me to say that which is correct in a clear fashion, and that Allah make this beneficial. Basically, we know from the Quran and Sunnah a reason why we are facing the hardship that we're facing today as a Muslim community is because, by and large, we have preferred the life of this world over the hereafter. And one thing I have consistently noticed over the past 13 years of being Muslim is some of the priorities of our community. I'm specifically referring to the fact that when it comes to providing some sort of humanitarian aid during a crisis, the community seems to really come together. So early on after I became Muslim, I noticed that there are people who come from Muslim families. They might identify as Muslim, but they would show nothing regarding Islam. They wouldn't pray. They wouldn't know anything about their religion. They wouldn't prioritize it at all whatsoever. But when something happened in regards to Palestine, there was some sort of emergency, they would come together. They would really make a serious effort to try to help out the Palestinians. And I want to be clear. It's good. It's good to help our brothers and sisters around the world when they're suffering. This is something good. I am not condemning that. Likewise, right now, I'm seeing that there are refugees coming from Afghanistan. And again, Muslims are coming together. They're making it a priority to help these people. I'm seeing so much effort come from the community. And again, this is good. This is a very positive thing. However, and here comes the potentially controversial opinion, people don't have that same energy. They don't put forth that same effort when we discuss this crisis of what's going on in public school. When we talk about the serious risk of our future generations completely going straight into the hellfire, I really don't understand why the community doesn't come together to deal with this crisis in the same way that they will come together to try to provide basic needs for our brothers and sisters coming over from Afghanistan. Which again, I want to make clear, these are good things. It's so good and it's important upon us to help them. However, why is it that we don't see the crisis that is occurring in our own community, in our own homes? Why don't we realize that if we really want to help refugees coming over here, then we need to provide them with Islamic schools? I want to read an email that a brother sent me, which I think really demonstrates not only the fact that so many in our community prefer the dunya, the life of this world, over the akhirah, over the hereafter, but it also shows us the potential that we have if we make this a priority to really establish good Islamic schools. You will not give up something for the sake of Allah, except that He will replace it with something better. All we really have to do is our part in making this a priority. So this email is from a brother who grew up in Saskatchewan, Canada. His father is a pediatrician, and he is training and working to follow in his footsteps, inshallah. He writes, I attended the Regina Huda School since its founding in 1992 at 2nd grade and graduated with a high school diploma from there. This is a model Islamic school, not without its flaws of course, but really exceptional in terms of its growth as well as its secular and non-secular strengths. Many graduates from the Huda School are now doctors, lawyers, engineers, and have certainly done well from a dunya perspective. Huda students score higher on national standardized tests than public school peers. The full secular curriculum is taught here as well as Islamic studies, Quran, and Arabic. High school Islamic studies is accredited and can be used for credit towards post-secondary applications. This is a pre-K to 12 school with over 600 students. There is a long wait list, and many move to the relatively smaller city of Regina just for the school. At this point, I want to remind you and myself that this is from the provision, endowment, and permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm really saddened to hear about how you are struggling to gain support to keep an Islamic school open in your locale. It reminds me of all the parents over the years who come asking me whether or not they should take their kids out of the Huda school into a public school, but with an advanced program. When I ask them why they think this is best for their children, they often cite reasons that have to do with them getting into the post-secondary program of their choice. So you can see the motivation isn't akhirah, and this speaks to the root of the problem. And what should I tell those parents? That because I made it to medical school and graduated grades 2 all the way to 12th grade from an Islamic school, that they should keep their kids in the Islamic school? So you see, subhanAllah, so many parents, if they knew that these Islamic schools could get their children a better dunya, then they would send them there. Forget the fact that the Islamic school could preserve their akhirah, their eternal hereafter. Forget that the public schools are day in and day out leading people, pushing them towards the hellfire. The question is, can the Islamic school help my child's dunya? What does Allah tell us? بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى. Nay, you prefer the life of this world, but the hereafter is better and more lasting. The brother says, I'm trying to change the focus of our narrative, and here's why. In just the short time that I spent in psychiatric child/adult wards and clinics in relatively smaller centers, I have seen many Muslims suffering from crisis of faith, addiction, and a myriad of social and family problems. We are witnessing a disturbing trend of suicidality amongst young Muslims. I'm not happy to report that I have plenty of stories to tell. The Muslim community needs to sound the alarm on this crisis and respond appropriately. The appropriate response, of course, is clearly outlined in the Quran and Sunnah. Now, this email is quite lengthy, but I don't want to make this video too long. I just really want to emphasize the fact that we see here in this example that we can build Islamic schools that even will provide our children opportunities in the dunya. Inshallah, we can build schools that will be excellent academically, that will help them get whatever job that they want. But how is that going to happen? It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen with this attitude where we don't prioritize this specific issue. There is so much that we can accomplish when we really make something our priority as a community. And if we get our priorities straight, then for sure, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will assist us. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say in this video. Thank you for watching. May Allah make it easy for us. May Allah guide us to get our priorities straight. May Allah help all of our brothers and sisters around the world who are suffering, all of the refugees. May Allah make it easy for us to provide for them, to help them. And may Allah also guide us to help ourselves and to save ourselves and our families from the hellfire. May Allah make it easy for us to establish good Islamic schools that are excellent and excel in religious studies as well as secular studies. Allah knows best. Thank you for watching. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.